そそらそらそらうさぎのダンスタラタラタラタラタラタラタラ足
There was once a monster that lived in a cave. He didn't know how to behave, and he wasn't very brave. Mr. Monster was sad. Mr. Monster was bad. He didn't like whole wheat grains. He liked to eat people's brains. Mr. Monster didn't like the sunshine, and it was a pity. He didn't like the city. Mr. Monster didn't like people or care about them as much as a church steeple. Mr. Monster didn't like lima beans or modern machines. But he did have a phone. He would let out a groan when it would ring. If you knew him, you would think he was an interesting thing. Mr. Monster didn't like to bathe. He didn't like to shave. He was very hairy. He also wished one day he could get married. Nobody liked him apart from a young girl who had no friends. Her name was Margaret. She met him under her bed. At first she fled, but he did not behead. But one day Mr. Monster said to Margaret he would eat her because that's what monsters do. She could be fried or possibly put into a stew.
Please don't eat me, Mr. Monster.
I'm sure you taste sweet.
So he swallowed her all in one bite. Then he decided to attack the city, and it wasn't going to be pretty. He started smashing cars and behaving like a rock star. He was grabbing planes out of the air. He should be put in chains. Then an old lady walked up to him. I'm not afraid of you.
I'm going to eat you.
I'm just skin and bones. Mr. Monster swallowed the old lady in one gulp. Inside his stomach, she saw Margaret. Margaret sadly said hello. The old lady said, "Whoa, what are you doing down here?"
I was dinner.
I have an idea. Let's sing and dance.
I don't feel much like celebrating our death.
Dance with me. Margaret began to sing and dance in his stomach. Mr. Monster didn't like that. Girls are supposed to be sugar and spice. This wasn't very nice. Mr. Monster began to feel sick after eating this chick. He sneezed, he coughed, he burped, and then he farted. Mr. Monster was so mad, he decided to get on his phone and call his bad friends, Otto and Cyclops. Together they were thrashing and smashing the city. Everyone seemed to be doomed. Everyone assumed they would be eaten. Suddenly a spaceship flew down from the sky. The ship radiated laser beams onto the monsters, but it didn't stop them.
I wish that there was an earthquake now.
Then suddenly the earth began to shake and quake. There were huge cracks in the ground, and the monsters frowned. They fell down into hell, and Margaret said, "Farewell." The newscasters quickly interviewed Margaret. "How did you know how to save the city?" they asked.
I just made a wish and it came true. It's as simple as the sky is blue, but this was a lot to go through.
Margaret had plenty of kids that wanted to be her friend, now that they knew she had saved the city. Then the aliens landed their ship and promptly inquired if there was any cheese dip. The aliens told Margaret the reason the earthquake happened at the precise time it did, it was because she had time traveled here twice. What do you think the asking price for time travel is? It's the price of a book. You first saw the destruction of the city, and now the second time saving the city.
I don't understand.
Margaret, you are holding a book. You have been reading a book, and it is this story. Margaret is safe in her bedroom.
I am in my bed, reading all this time.
She closes the book. Mr. Monster Freaks Out.